morning, guys. My name is Dr. Rob, the Addiction Doctor. This is the 3rd of 2221 coming live for you in San Antonio, Texas. And this is the Recovery Channel podcast. Okay, so bad news and good news. First of all, the bad news. Jen is very sick. She apologizes, guys. It's just me and our guest today. So we all wish, if you've got her Facebook, please send her a message, hoping she'll get well. Or message her. If you have a phone number, even better. Give her a call or give her a text. In fact, don't call. Give her a text saying I wish she'll get better. We missed Jen today. Really sorry about that. I've sent a text hoping that she'll get better soon. So it's just me today, and we'll have a great show today for you. Let's see. What did we do over the weekend? Let me think. Well, we had our class over the weekend, our second week of our teaching, which is awesome. It's the recovery coaching course, but it's different to a normal course. And when I say that, it's more working on yourself. So we take you through your own stuff first to make sure that you get well, of course, because you can't work with anybody if you're not well yourself. And most people think they're well. Wow. You know, if you can afford the course, get on it. If you can afford just a separate module so you can jump on, get on it, please. Because what I found over the last 2 weeks is absolutely fascinating what we're teaching is most people don't know their being. They don't know their source. They don't know exactly who they are. And therefore, they're not giving the maximum service to their clients when they go out. So we have new coaches. We have seasoned coaches joining us. And the next course is going to be in June, I believe. You'll get the message all over Facebook when it does. But that's the summer coaching period. And it's a 10-week course. It's 100 hours. With some practicum put in there as well. But the stuff you're going to learn is absolutely phenomenal. So text me, get on my Facebook, call me, do whatever you need to do. If you're interested in taking your life and your career to a different level or just starting the career, this is the program. Now, I'm going to be as bold as to say, because you know, guys, I've been there and done it. With all the experience I've had with different coaching courses and college and PhDs and everything, got to say this is the best course ever because it's not about just knowing what you're doing and your being and going out there. We're talking about brain science. I'm going to be teaching brain science. I'm going to be teaching everyone about trauma, the real trauma, and exactly how we get out of that. And most importantly, how we get our clients out of that. So any situation that should come across while you're coaching, you will be covered. We will help you set that website up. We will send you all the forms in the course to build your own business up and take it to another level because that's what it's all about. Why am I doing this at my age, you may ask? Surely, Rob, you've got enough money you can retire. Well, of course I have, because I've worked hard from the streets to where I am today. I've worked very, very hard to be here, and I want to take some of you guys with me. And I continue to do this to help others. This is not about the money. We have a business to run. We have staff to pay. Of course we do. But you'll pay quadruple the amount that we're putting out there. But we just want to do this. We want to do it from the heart. We really want to make sure that people get their most out of their life and the most out of their career as a coach and teach other people. So there's lots of stuff there. Somatic experience is going to be in there. Brain spotting is going to be in there. Mirroring is going to be in there. Neuroplasticity is going to be in there. Body image is going to be there. Body dysmorphia. We're going through everything you can imagine that's going to arm you. So that was our weekend, me and Jen. We have fun doing that. I must admit, we have real fun. And what was my wife doing during all that, you may ask? Well, it's very rarely my wife asks for anything, I got to tell you. So this week, she wanted to do some stuff around the house, maybe some in the yard. So she said, is it okay if I do it? I don't know why she asked me. She's the boss. Come on. So I said, yeah, you have an open checkbook. Guys, psst, if there's wives on here, just turn away for a second. Guys, I want to speak to you. Never say that to your wife, whatever you do, okay? Never. So she's having a new deck built, 15,000. She's having the landscaper in, 10,000. She's having the sprays outside done on the fences, 2,000. So over the weekend, I've just banged another 20 grand out. How can you do that, Rob? That's a lot of money. Yeah, I know my worth today. And that's one of the things as coaches we ask you, what's your worth today? What are you worth? If you don't know what you are worth, you've not done enough work on yourself. I'm proud who I am today. I love who I am today. And it's amazing. That being said, I know you're thinking, who's on the show today, Rob? Yes, who's on the show? Probably one of my favorite guys over the last month since I get to know him and talk to him is the real deal, guys. Now, you don't get many people as a veteran, I'm not going to say old, as me and Sonny, but when you get to our age, you know a thing or two, and you've helped a few people along the way, which is pretty cool. There's no ego with this guy. He tells you like it is. This is why I like him. It tells you like it is, just like me. He kind of asks the same questions that I do. The thing that you're thinking, we actually say. So listen, guys, stick around. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Sonny Sorrentino. You might know the name, Sonny Sorrentino. Such a great guy. Stick around, guys. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the show, guys. My name is Dr. Rob Keller, the Addiction Doctor. This is Sonny Sorrentino on the Recovery Channel podcast. How are we doing, Sonny?
Great. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. You made my day.
Oh, no, you've made mine, because the moment I speak to you, and it's really funny, we have a producer and we have an outreach director, and that's Courtney Davis, and she is absolutely amazing. But one of the things I've learned, because I get a bit pissy in my old age, and you know, it's, well, why am I sitting up at 5 o'clock doing this podcast? Kind of, do you know who I am shit? And she kind of says, shut up. In a nice way, she says, shut up. And then when somebody comes along that I need to be in contact with, because everybody's contacting me every day and want to be part of what we're doing. And it's just a no, I don't mix with anybody. But he said, Sonny Sorrentino, you need to talk to him. I don't even ask why. I go, okay, let's get him on the phone. And we talked to him. But the moment I talked to you, Sonny, I knew that we're going to be friends for the rest of our lives, because that's the sort of guy you are. So tell everybody listening what you do. Who are you?
All right, thanks. By the way, I feel the same way, Rob, about you. There was an instant connection. Well, as Rob said, my name is Sonny Sorrentino, and I'm a personal life coach. And what I do is I help people through their life challenges. I have a background in addiction recovery. I'm a certified alcohol and drug counselor, as well as the mental health component. I'm a big, firm believer that addiction is merely a symptom of an underlying issue. So after last week, I was in a 4-day seminar, you know, what a professor of mine years ago said, take what you want, leave the rest. Well, seed planted. And I think I had a little epiphany, because as of this past Friday, I decided to rebrand myself. Formerly, I was under the name of Yours in Success, which truly nobody knew what that was, who I was, what I do, and how I've helped people. So in making this rebranding decision, I had to dig deep on me. And I mean, dig deep as far as back as I can remember. And in doing so, it opened up a lot of wounds for me. But, you know, fortunately, over the years, I've been able to come to closure. My first decade, I'll go to 12 years old. I really don't have any memory of the first 4 or 5 years. What I remember is my mother and father divorced. I was placed in a boarding school, a Catholic military school, from 2nd grade to graduation. And I think that's when I was introduced to abandonment, loneliness, pain, suffering, and just where's the hope here? So after grammar school, the next decade was, high school. Now I'm no longer in boarding school. I meet the first love of my life. I'm living in utmost fear of my father, because he had no sense of humor. He boxed under the name of the Kansas City Kid, went 40-0, and I was deathly afraid he was going to give me a fucking backhand one day and I'd fly out the window. So he lived until I was 22 years old. Got married at 21. My wife's threat was, I'm going to call your father. I'm going to call your father. He was an alcoholic. I always swore, no drinking. My son will never go through this. My father dies. I have no fears anymore. What's the very first thing I do? I go out and buy a bar. Now, what am I going to do? Boy, you talk about becoming your father. I opened the bar, and that caused a lot of problems. So my, we'll go to the second decade, my 20s, is when my shit started to erupt. Between the womanizing, between the drinking, between the well, try this pill, it'll keep you awake. You got to take this. I thought I was all this present. I was doing pills to go to bed, to wake up, to get through the day. And I was working a full-time job, and the bar was a 4 a.m. liquor license. So I was like a zombie. So that decade caused my divorce, caused some legal issues. Third decade wasn't getting any better. More legal issues, more drug issues, more alcohol issues. Thought I had all the answers. Finally, I realized no, I don't have any of the answers. But the experiences that I went through were just, in my mind, earth-shattering. And in my culture, everything, you keep your problems at home. You don't put it out on the street. Sweep it under the rug. Doesn't help people to do that.
No.
So I got in myself a couple of peer support group meetings, the AA, which I did for a while. And then I wasn't feeling it. So I just backed out of that, probably because of my stupidity, figuring I could do it all myself. In the meantime, I lost touch with God. I just abandoned everybody and everything, just did my thing.
Let me take you back to what was that first drink or drug that you took that you knew that the world was going to be different? How old was you?
I think I was 18. I was working full time. One of the guys I worked with was a bartender at a club in Chicago. He said, "Why don't you come out on this weekend and hang out with me at the bar?" I'm like, "Okay." So I go there, and I really hadn't drank up until 18. So he says, "Here, have this." He says, "They won't smell it on you," and it was a gin and tonic, and it went down pretty smooth, I got to say. Next thing you know, the effects started coming in, and I thought I was John Travolta on that dance floor. And, all the crazy shit you go through when you're buzzed, and especially the first time, I was like, oh, my God. Then, of course, I was introduced to the Irish flu the next morning. I had my first hangover. I was like, wow, this is brutal. Why would I want to do this? But then by 21, bingo, here I go. My father's gone. I was 22, I think. He's gone. I have no more threat. And the experiences that I had prior to this, Rob, that I think truly led me to this, as far as my underneath, my first 12 years, parents divorced, mother moved to California. My father had full custody of me. I lived with his mother, who spoke no English, only Italian, and his sister, who had lost a child at 7 years of age to leukemia. So now here comes this little boy about the same age. That had to hurt her big. Meantime, my father was out running his bar. So by second grade, they figured it's best to put this boy in a military school, which is what I did. And then, at 12 years old, this kind of rocked my world. At 12 years old, I was in Las Vegas visiting my mother and her mother, riding a bike. My cousin says to me, she says, you weren't born. You were adopted. I'm like, okay, we just kept riding. So that night we're at home with my mother, my grandmother, my cousin, and her mother. So I don't know why, we're eating dinner. I said, Mom, what does adopted mean? Oh my God. The next thing I know, my cousin was bouncing off that wall like a pinball. My mother called me in the bedroom. She says, I got to talk to you. So she told me the story, and she made me promise to never tell my father. I guess everybody was afraid of my father. So now that's 12 years old. I couldn't share this with anybody. So keep that inside, talk about an implosion. So then when my father dies, I say to my, the brothers come through the line, oh, I'm sorry. It's why didn't anybody ever tell me I was adopted? Got married, my wife got pregnant. I had to tell her I was adopted. I lived the life of an Italian American. I don't know, maybe I'm not. But I was fortunate in being adopted into the family I was. So we went through that whole process, and that was a real mind bender. I was able to talk about it mostly to myself, and then I realized I had a new friend, and I never really talked with him, and that was my buddy JC. Great guy.
Let me stop you there. So that must have started the abandonment, not only probably through childhood with move in and going to see your mom and everything, but the rest of the stuff by being adopted. Guys, let's take a quick commercial break. Let's come back and talk about abandonment with Sonny. We'll be right back after this, guys. Welcome back, guys. For those just joining us, that was New Choices, the amazing treatment center here in San Antonio. It's where I am right now, the premier substance abuse facility here in Texas. www.newchoicestc, T for treatment, C for center.com, newchoicestc.com, or give them a call for all your addiction needs. I mean, they do everything, guys, because we send our guys there who need to stay overnight. We really trust these guys. 726-888-7003. That's 210-910-5154, local Texas number. info@newchoicestc.com. Once again, guys, these are the premier treatment centers, especially in Texas. Awesome, guys. Give them a call. They'll sort you out. So let's break this up, Sonny, for a second, if you don't mind. Sure. Let's talk about, first of all, don't go any further than your age of 6 to 20. Let's talk about the abandonment right there.
Okay.
Where did it start? What age did it start that you noticed?
Well, I noticed it at the second grade, which I would imagine, I don't recall now, probably 6, 7. And being in a military school, I got dropped off on a Sunday night and didn't go home until Friday night. And, you know, you're a baby in second grade. You know, I'm in my own bed, shining my shoes, had Dominican nuns in charge, slept in dormitories. And then, you know, I'm lost. I'm lonely. I'm like, why am I here? Where I lived in the community directly across the street, directly. I could walk out my door, cross the street, walk right into a parochial school. And I said to myself, why in the bungle am I in this military school when I could be across the street? Not realizing my father's lifestyle and living with his mother and sister. So there were 7 years of my life, lonely, scared. It was just horrendous. I had the same meal Monday through Friday for 7 years. The entree was bologna, and I'm talking minimum half-inch thick. To this day, I cannot eat any home paper. So that's where the abandonment comes. Now, while I'm in this school, I wind up being sexually abused by an older student, which I had no clue, and heaven forbid I told anybody about it. This is actually the first time I'm mentioning it to someone other than myself. That was shocking, you know, to say the least. But then what I did was I got with the program. I'm like, I'm not going to beat this system. I can't challenge the nuns. So I kind of took a hold of myself. And I think that school is what made my leadership role so active to this day. I followed the rules. I learned the rules. I began teaching the rules to the younger kids, and ultimately graduated as the colonel, which was the highest office you could have, or the highest rank, I should say. And I still, to this day, some of the guys that were in that school refer to me as the colonel. But that was really bullshit, I got to tell you.
So when the sexual abuse happened, I mean, I take it was over a period of time, or was it just once?
It was over a period of time.
So when that happened, what was your mindset after that, having to keep that in going through school? I mean, how did it affect you?
Well, I was afraid that people would find out. I was afraid that people thought I invited that sort of abuse. And I was deathly afraid of this boy who was, I think he was in 8th grade at the time, because he was a big guy, and I was afraid of him physically. So I would avoid him at all costs. If I saw him coming one way, I would go the other way. And it was a really fucked up time in my life.
So the fear was in there from probably day one with you. You know, walking on eggshells, you know, be careful where you're going. If you bump into him, go in the opposite way. I mean, was there any outbursts of violence during that with you to express yourself?
Not during those years. The teenage years, the violence started to begin. And that's when I unknowingly was letting all that garbage out of me. Multiple arrests for assault, battery, barroom brawls. You know, I was in a lot of local jail cells, fortunately just for the night. And then after that 18, when I started that drink, I was like, I like this because I realized that all them crazy thoughts of abandonment, loneliness, fear, they were gone. I'm like, this is great. This is great. Then I had I was Mr. Everything to everybody. And that's when the bullshit started, really.
So looking back between the ages of 6 and say 17, 18, give me the one worst moment of that time period.
My mother dying.
And then there you go again with the abandonment.
Yeah.
You know, how old was you when that happened?
I was, I think, 17. And the real pain, Rob, came from 2 weeks prior to her death. She invited me to California where she lived and wanted me to meet the guy she was marrying and somehow, someway give her my approval. Oh, geez, I was from 5 to then, I really never saw my mother or talked to her. So I'm like, yeah, man, whatever makes you happy, it's fine with me. So I was getting to the end of the night. I'm like, I'm going to go to bed. I says, how about your guy here? Is he leaving? She goes, son, let me teach you a valuable lesson in life. Don't ever buy a pair of shoes without trying them on. My mother and this guy went in the bedroom. Oh, my God, the pillow was over my ears. But the sad part, Rob, 2 weeks later, I come home. My father says, I got bad news. I said, what's that, Dad? He goes, Mommy died. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I went back to California, did all her funeral arrangements. And, how everything in my mind always has a purpose. While I'm doing my mother's funeral, I get a letter at home. I was in the Vietnam era. And I got a letter at home that the military police National Guard called me up. That was a good out, figuring, you don't have to go to Vietnam. So I said, Dad, I just drop it. He knew a guy there that helped and all the bullshit. So I said, drop me to the bottom of the list. While they dropped me and I'm at my mother's funeral, President Nixon came up with the lottery. I came in over 300. So in my mind, I'm always saying, well, my mom saved me from Vietnam. Then when I realized I'm going to be a policeman, military police in Vietnam, going after my guys, I'm like, fuck that. So that was it. That was really the ups and downs of 17.
So I know you said that your mom, excuse me, guys, your mom caught you over there for your approval. Whose approval was you seeking as a child and a teenager?
Myself, honestly, there was nobody. I met the love of my life when I was 15. I had a band, and we played for her sweet 16 birthday party. And I met her about a week or two later by accident. I was with her every day until we got married on the day after my 21st birthday. It's good and it's bad because all of what I should have done from 15 to 21, I did from 21 to 30. And that fucked up that whole marriage. And that's when I was really in the throes of owning the bar and having the drinks and all that nonsense. And the drugs.
Crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Guys, Sonny Sorrentino's on the show. We're going to get into his 21 and over when we come back, but stick around. Here's a commercial for Take 12 Radio. Take 12 Radio, take12radio.com with the Monty Man, the longest running recovery radio show ever. It's been going for years and years and years with Monty. He's the CEO and executive producer over there. An amazing show. And today is going to be even more amazing because today we start off the Dr. Rob Kelly Hour on the radio show where I talk about anything and everything on that show. It's going to be amazing. So take12radio.com. Jump on there, guys. Such an amazing guy, Monty Meyer. Okay, Sonny Sorrentino's on the show, guys. Welcome back. This is the Recovery Channel podcast. Just a quick reminder, if you want one of our mugs, absolutely sought after, we've got a few to give away. We only ask you to pay postage. So wherever you are, it's going to be $2, $3, whatever. Contact us on Messenger or email us, of course, Rob, R-O-B-B, at robkelly.com. You can email us there and we'll send you a free mug. Just pay for the postage. That's all. So, Sonny, let's go into your adult years. Tell us three prominent things that happened during your adult years that changed you.
Well,
in good or bad ways.
Well, at 21, I got married. Then 3 months into this is the girl that I dated from 15 years. Within those years, 3 months after I was married, she became ill and wound up with a tumor on her thymus gland. She had to have open heart surgery. Then they removed the thymus and all that ugliness. Fortunately, it was benign, so that was good. However, she was debilitated throughout. Now, in the meantime, here I am operating a bar and not coming home. And when I did come home, it was bullshit. Meantime, she's laid up with this. I'm out doing my thing. So what do? I meet someone at the bar. Wind up in a 4-year long-term relationship. Talk about a little shocker. I walked in the house one night, and the girl I was having an affair with was sitting on the couch with my wife.
Oh, dear.
I'm like, I got to be tripping or something here. This can't be. And it was the question of, well, who do you love? That nonsense. I'm like, I love you both, different reasons, blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, I wind up divorcing my wife, who had then picked up throughout the course of this time myasthenia gravis, which I had no clue what that was, only to find out later. It's originally comes out as a diagnosis of a mental and nervous disorder, when in fact it's in the muscular dystrophy family. It's one of the Jerry's deals. And so we got divorced, unfortunately. I had a son by this time, and not understanding her disease, I wound up taking him once he graduated grammar school. So those years were, again, up and down, up and down. Where did I find my relief? Hello. Between the drinking and the smoking and the pills and the coke and all the bullshit. Well, those were fun years.
Yeah, crazy. So tell me about your sober times. When did you get sober? What happened? Did you have a spiritual awakening? What was that like? And follow it through to what you do today.
Well, I think my first, I was maybe 27, 28. This fellow owned an insurance company, agency. I always wanted him to work for him because I had a huge network of friends that I would refer to him and sold them insurance. I said, when I grow up, I'll come to work for you. So lo and behold, it was my last barroom brawl. I'm locked up in a neighborhood cell. Back in those days, they had ink. They didn't have this technology. And that ink was like pistachio nuts. It stayed on you for a couple of days. So they let me out. I go knocking on his door. It's like 5 a.m. He said, "What's up?" I said, "I'm all grown up." He knew exactly what that meant. I started work by him the next day. And lo and behold, he was in recovery. I never knew. He told me his story. And he's like, "You know what? Don't give me," he said, "I know the bullshit." He says, "I spoke it for many years. So don't come in here and tell me you're this or you're that when I know you're drinking and getting high." And he led me to begin my sobriety, so to speak. I was sober for quite a while, but never really in recovery. I was following the rules, not drinking, doing this, found a sponsor, but that's half-assed, I'd rather be with this. People today that as I worked with, they said, "Well, I'm sober 30 years. I'm in recovery for 20. Never really understood that difference back then as far as living a healthy, happy lifestyle. So as I got through all this stuff, the 40s, same thing. It started to change when I hit my 5th decade, because now I've got 2 sons, and they're great, really great. And, they became my inspiration. I said, I'm going to live for these guys. I'm not going to be a total mess up and let them follow my directions. Well, My father used to always tell me when he'd get hot at me, when do you have your own? You know what I'm talking about. Well, my second son was a clone of me. And he would talk to me, and I'd be like, son, everything you do, I've done, only called it by a different name. So I decided to change it. At 59 years old, I went back to school. I wanted to learn about addiction, and haven't stopped. I'm 70 years old now, and for 59 to now, I wound up getting my certification. Loved learning, went to DePaul, got my BA, stayed at DePaul, got my master's, and I was doing counseling. And I just felt that it's not really what I needed to do. I didn't feel my purpose was really out there. So then I just recently turned it into a personal life coach because of the stigmas, mental health, addiction, therapist, counselor, coach, nobody's got a problem with. So the recovery I do now, the work I do now is centered more around the transitions that we all go through in our life. Addiction is one hell of a transition from stupid to sober. And that in-between bridge can really be a rocky road. And that's what I do. I try to help people manage those transitions in the addiction world. I've extended it to any life challenge that people may be experiencing, because you had said it a little earlier, been there, done that. It's really not much I haven't done, or shouldn't say done, that I've experienced. Yeah. And by the grace of God, I'm alive today, well, and doing pretty good.
Awesome. So somebody comes to you and they need help. Do you do non-addiction stuff? Do you do like depression and anything like that, or you do everything? Yeah.
I do anything that is causing them struggles in their day-to-day life. And I don't do I'm not the be all for everyone, but I am one heck of a resource center. Yeah. Because I'll tell them balls out, I'm not your guy, but I got a guy, he's over here, and this is what they do. So I can't be everything for everyone.
No. And it's important that we know that, we know our boundaries. Yeah, we know our boundaries. I always teach the coaches that we're doing the weekend classes with that if somebody calls you and it's out of your perimeter, please don't try and do it. Please don't wing it, because it's not like being a sponsor. You will mess people up. They will come back and sue you. So you got to be careful. I have a great, one of my best friends over in Florida, which is Boca Raton area, Adam Jablin, and he's amazing at that. He's a great executive coach, and he knows his stuff, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to certain sorts of mental illness and psychology stuff, he bumps them guys straight over to me. He has no problems with that. And I love people who have their limits. I have my limits sometimes. When people come to me and they start talking about heart disease and stuff, they're like, I don't know anything. Let me put you in contact with a surgeon that I know will speak to you for 20, 30 minutes and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's awesome. So what would you like to leave the people with, Sonny? I know you got your website at the bottom. What else would you like them to know? Or what else, if they want to seek treatment, where can they find you?
What I'd like to leave primarily is the idea of hope, that what you're going through, every human being goes through transitions in their lifetime. And there is a new beginning. But to get to the new beginning, you have to have the ending. And it can happen. If you need help finding that new beginning, my information is there. The 1-800-552-3374 is a toll-free number. Leave me a message. Or my website, sonnysorrentino.com. Please leave a message. I'm offering everyone a free 1-hour session to, number one, see if I am the right fit for you, as well as are you the right fit for me. And then together, hopefully, we'll navigate your journey and transition to a much better, brighter future.
I love it, Sonny. Listen, thank you for so much for being on the show. Thank you for your experience. Thank you for your story. And most of all, thank you for what you do today. And I will be calling this week. I think me and you should be having a weekly phone call in our diaries or calendars that we speak every single week, because I'm just impressed with your resume. I'm impressed of how much of a gentleman you are, and impressed that you have the big heart for the recovery community. So thank you so much for being on. It was an absolute pleasure, Sonny.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you and all you do. You have a great day. And I hope Jennifer gets better really quick.
Yes, sir. We'll be right back after this, guys. Welcome back to the show, guys. My name is Dr. O'Kelly, the Addiction Doctor. That was New Choices Treatment Center over in San Antonio. One of my friends over here. They are the premier substance abuse facility here in Texas. NewChoicesTC.com, New Choices T for treatment, C for center.com, or you can give them a call, 726-888-7003. Or if you're local, want to give them a local call, it's 210-910-5154. info@newchoicestc.com if you want to email them. Don't forget, guys, they've got everything over there. We love these guys. So visit the website, see what they've got. It's newchoicestc.com. Big shout out to our outreach person, which is Courtney Davis over there. She does all our work, get all the great guests on, and she gets very little mention. And she's got to put up with me. That must be a hard job for the least, but there you go. For those guys just tuning in, I can see there's a few people on today. Jennifer Lovely is not lovely today. She's sick. And I don't remember when Jennifer was ever sick, so this must be horrible for her. So a big shout out to Jennifer. Again, if you've got a number, text her. If you've got an email her, or jump on Facebook and just wish her the best, because she really is. She's kind of the female version of me, I think. A lot of people say that. We're in your face. We do what we got to do, and we're just on it. That's what we are. Guys, you seen this? Woo! It's a Recovery Channel podcast mug or cup, wherever you come from. It's awesome. They're free of charge. We just ask you to pay your shipping, which is usually about $2, $3. We'll send you one over. In fact, if you pay the shipping, it's going to be $2. It might be $2 for two. We'll send you two and give one to your friends or one to your spouse. What else am I going to talk about? Oh, I need to talk about this, guys. Listen to this. The Ultimate Recovery Coaching and Training Program. You can visit the website, which is recoverme.com. recovermecoaching.com. Jump on there, go to our classes, and you'll see it on there. If you want to jump on, the summer one starts in June. We're not sure the date yet, but we'll get you involved on Facebook and all our media platforms. So don't forget, guys, email, text Jen, make sure she's doing okay. I'll be calling her later. Great guest on the show. If you've just joined us, I've seen a couple of people just have. Sonny Sorrentino, you missed such a great guy experience. SonnySorrentino.com is his website. Go visit the guy. The resources are phenomenal. And if you go on and say, hey, Sonny, I need an addictionologist or some crazy guy who knows everything about the brain regarding addiction, he's definitely going to put you through to me. I hope anyway. So, guys, that's all for the show this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I was on my own, but some people say we're better together, me and Jen, rather than separate. And I truly believe that, to be honest with you. I truly believe. So listen, guys, have a fantastic week. Can you hear my dog in the background? We got 3 English bulldogs. Most of you know this, but that in the background is our female English bulldog, Mackenzie. And she's wanting to come into the office and making herself known as she normally does. But hey, guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for being you. And I'm going to leave you on this, guys. Empowered people, empower people. Have a great week, guys. Speak to you soon.